All good?
All good, square dot. That's recording, yeah.
Done. So, good afternoon, or I should say it's still morning. So, good morning to all our Gold Coast locals out there. This is the Lennon Ridley Gold Coast Local Podcast. So, we've got some interesting characters coming in today, but I just want to have a little bit of a chat about some of the experiences I've had over the last couple of weeks. I've spoken to a couple of people, and I just want to let everyone understand and everyone know that what it's like to actually have a disability. I've met with a couple of people in the last two weeks who have got spinal injuries, and one particular person sort of indicated to me that he was concerned because he felt like he'd plateaued. He'd got to a stage where he didn't think it was getting any better and that sort of stuff. One of the things that you learn when you have a disability and something like happens to you like this is, I know for me, my loss of independence to be able to do things. It's very difficult to be able to transition from somewhere where you used to be able to go to the fridge and get a glass of water to, I need to have someone else go and get the water, get the glass, get the water, bring it to me, and that sort of thing. When you become reliable on other people, it's a very difficult transition to understand, and it's not something that you're ever prepared for. It's something that's just, like, as I said, thrown at you. So it becomes a very a difficult situation, and a lot of people will relate this to like mental health and those sorts of things. But the reality for me is, like, I've always looked at it one day at a time. I don't think you can start going, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I know in my first podcast I said, when the doctor said to me, you've got to understand you'll probably never walk again. I said to him, mate, I'm going to ride my surfboard. But that for me was a goal for me. That's something that I made a commitment to me about. So, I just want people to know that if you take one day at a time and make a commitment to yourself each day, concentrate on the commitment, believe in what you're saying to yourself, and trust yourself, well, then you will get to a stage where you're going to have experiences. And I can tell you from a spinal injury person who's, it's not very good English, is it? But anyway, a spinal injury person who's been doing this for 11 years now, and 3 spine operations, I can tell you that it takes one day at a time. It doesn't, this is not something that you get up, you're not going to get up and go running down the street and do that sort of thing. It's a major adjustment. And it's funny, like, I see people, when I walk down the street and that sort of stuff now, and people look at me and they go, well, what happened to your leg? And I say to them, no, it's not my leg. And they go, oh. I said, it's actually, I broke my back. That's why I walk like this, and I need a stick, or, if I go into crowds, I have crutches and all that sort of stuff because I have no ankles and everything like that. But as I said, it's a very difficult, and it's very difficult to explain to people that, if you actually take away your independence, it's a very different mindset altogether. It's extremely confronting up front. Extremely confronting. I can't express just how difficult it is to get your mind from a person who's been able-bodied running around to someone who is requiring other people's assistance to be able to do their daily routine. It's quite confronting. So I just want to say to those people out there, the guys, they know who they are. Take one day at a time. I'm always here to have a chat with you and say, what's going on and that sort of stuff. And by all means, as I said, if there's anyone else out there who has, sore backs or issues or anything like that, I've been through enough that, I'm happy to talk to you about my experience and just let you understand that, there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes it might not necessarily be the light that you're expecting. We all want to get up and run and walk and ride surfboards and do that sort of stuff. Sometimes we've got to become a little bit more humble and understand the fact that whatever we've done and the decisions that we've made in our lives have left us with a vehicle that we've got to complete our journey in. And sometimes those vehicles have got flat tyres and sometimes they haven't. So, but anyway, I just want to say to people out there, hang in there. You know, don't get too concerned about what other people think. I've learnt in my life that I don't give a rat's ass what other people think. They don't know anything about me, and I think every person in our community, our universe, has all got a journey to relate to, that they can talk about, and yeah, and you know, they live, and it's not the same. They're all different. So, you know, it's like our guest today. We've got Mr. Peter Whiffin in here today.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah, Mr. White.
He's a very, very interesting character, and I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy this this chat. Peter, I've known Peter for a couple of years, sort of thing. Our big boy here, Renee helps Peter out. Peter has the op shop at Southport, so Renee gives Pete a hand, and they look after the locals and see some interesting things over here. And one of the things that I've learnt over the last couple of years about Peter is that Peter is a Christian. He has rewritten the Bible.
Published a version with the names in it.
With the names in it, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's unchanged, except it has the meaning of the names in the Bible.
Right. Okay. So we've got that sort of thing, and Peter also performs exorcisms and does that sort of stuff as well. So we'll get into all that sort of stuff as we go. Peter, welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Mate,
Nice to see you.
Absolute pleasure having you in here today. So you've got an intriguing story too.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were very successful in as a businessman
Mm-hmm.
before you had this journey, which we will get to. But yeah, so tell us a little bit about Peter Whiffin.
When I was growing up, I was fortunate. My dad had a small business. He made undertaking supplies, coffin handles, and Jesus is on the cross, and
Really?
ornaments. Yeah. And he used to take me to the undertakers, you know, to deliver them.
Yep.
Yeah. So I thought they were boats and surfboards, the coffins. But I always wanted to be successful, and something in me wanted to be successful, and so that's how I started off. I didn't like school, and wanted to get out of there as fast as I could, and Mum said you had to have an apprenticeship, so I went and got one as a fitter and turner and left school.
That was it.
Yeah, then I didn't like that because it was like stuck beside a machine all day, so I left that and went and became a plumber.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Outside work.
Well, I quit and started another apprenticeship.
Like to keep on the move.
Yeah. So I did well at those. I won all the awards going everywhere to schools and that sort of thing. And I think that I was blessed with a brain that could understand quickly.
Yeah.
So I used to spend my time helping the other apprentices and doing
their work.
doing their stuff. Yeah. So my nana was a very nice lady. She taught me to be kind.
Yeah.
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 So we used to visit the spastic kids and that, and she taught me all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. That's we have similar mothers. My mum taught me to
Be
have
nice.
faith and be kind. Yeah. Absolutely. So.
Yeah, and I've come to realise now, and you know what you were saying about the disabled, that we can have all sorts of things happen to us in life, but we still retain the power of how to react to those things,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a choice in our thinking. We may not have a choice with our body, but we may have a choice with our reaction.
Absolutely.
So.
That's just really his
He's agreeing with you, Peter.
Yeah. He knows
Yeah,
that.
so yeah, I did a lot of things, but my dad came up with the idea for the dingo mini loader, and we ordered $2 million worth without any orders.
Did you?
And, yeah, the factory backed us, and it was 40 units a month, and I figured if we had 40 outlets, 40 dealers, we'd sell 40 a month if they
Yep.
sold one each. It's just ABC. So we went around the country with them in a van and a trailer and appointed dealers. And we sold the whole lot the first year, made $500,000.
Really?
Yeah. And that was just pure determination.
Yep.
Yeah, and belief in what you were doing. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And had I have known, I would never have started that. You know, just like, just crazy, just crazy. But that product is still selling today,
Yes,
40 years later,
yes,
45 years later, still selling.
still
But-
got a lot.
We used to travel on jets all around the world doing licensing for it, and they thought we were software salesmen. And I wondered, what's a software salesman? Maybe, and then I really should have got into that.
Yeah, hindsight's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah, man.
Yeah. But it's funny though, like, you know, all the things that you've done, don't you think that helps with the ability to transition, like, your experiences into doing something new as well? So,
Yeah, it adds a depth and a dynamic.
yeah,
I had been, extremely rich, and I've been homeless.
yeah,
So it's all something that sews some fabric into the bottom of your life
yeah,
that you can draw on, later.
Yep.
Yeah. So these sorts of things give us colour, and they, we do the op shop, and now we do the community op shop. So we're really serving these days, not taking.
yep,
And I get the joy from that, and that's my part. I get the joy out of that,
Yep.
and a lot of people are bouncing along the bottom, and it doesn't take much to put your little finger out, and just give them a bit of a lift,
yeah,
and it's nice.
absolutely.
So after being through a lot of that stuff, I had sawmills in Fiji. I used to travel with briefcases of cash and powwow with the chiefs and buy their timber.
Yep,
Yeah, and I had 35 people in a sort of timber yard there exporting mahogany to Australia.
oh really?
Yeah, I was 30 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been a life back then, eh?
Oh, it was cool. It was
Yeah.
cool. Well, I felt like Dr. Livingston.
Yep.
Yeah.
You look a bit like Dr. Livingston.
But in my life, I just quietly,
Seagull.
in my life, I've just quietly gone along.
Yep.
And the scripture, I got introduced to the Bible when I was 30 in Fiji. And I read a passage one day that said, "Look to the ant and be wise." So I bought an ant's nest and I watched them. And I found out that the little ant, he gets a piece of grain and dirt, and he moves it and dumps it. Then he goes back and gets another bit, and then another ant comes around and gives him a drink of water with a bubble of water on its nose. And from that, I got the idea that just concentrate on what you're doing. Don't go too wide. Like, you've got a task, just manoeuvre with that task. Just keep doing that.
Yep.
And the success of the Cavalier Homes Building Company came out of that. I just moved files. I was doing the marketing, and I just sold them, and just concentrated on that.
Yep.
Yeah, we sold up to 100 a month.
Ah, excellent.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people actually realise that if you do what makes you happy,
Yes.
it's a much easier journey
Mhm.
instead of
definitely.
doing stuff. I know I talk to some companies and that sort of stuff, and I talk to some of their employees, and like sometimes I look at them, I go, man, why are you even in here?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. See, one of the things we're all pursuing, my daughter's in marketing, and I said to her, what's the main motivation for everyone, really, when you look at it? And it's to be happy.
absolutely.
So if you're not happy,
Well,
do
if
something
you're not-
about it, man.
Exactly right. Like,
Make some steps.
yes.
You don't have to all at once, you can't eat an elephant,
No.
one mouthful at a time.
Yep.
And make yourself a nice little plan for you. And this is also for the disabled.
Yes.
Get a hope. All right, you've got restrictions. But while you were talking, I was just thinking, a seagull thinks we're disabled when it comes to flying.
Sure. Absolutely.
So it's all relative. Like, a seagull's disabled in what we do.
Yes.
So we just do what we can do. And if you got some restriction, that's just some restriction.
That's exactly right.
The worst thing is disappointment. When I've been through the tragedies in my life, the different things that have happened. If you keep looking back at them, you keep punching yourself up.
Absolutely.
So it's a discipline. No, I'm not going to think back. I'm not going to look backwards. I'm going to look at today and just focus on what my plan is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you want to be a basket weaver or you want to be a crocheter. It's what's important for you, a little goal for you. You said surfboard, I'm going to ride my surfboard. And that's fundamentally key because it's a goal.
Absolutely. And as I've said, like, I go for a paddle.
Yeah.
You can't surf, really. I go for a paddle and that sort of stuff, but you know, like I haven't got up yet, but I'm going to.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm going to. It might be a foot long way, yes.
Yeah.
Really important
On a longboard?
to. It's going to be a longboard because it's 12 months no chance.
Well, if you're going to be bored, be long.
A longboard.
Long board, yeah.
So, no, that's cool. So then, what got you into? Because, like as I said, you obviously had another transition in your life
Yes.
at some stage that got you into this side of things.
Yeah, a lady named Joy Whittaker, surprisingly enough, had a second-hand clothes store in Fiji, and Australian lady, and I met her son on the aircraft flying backwards and forwards. So I went over there, and she gave me a Bible, and she, like, up until then, I got no problems. I'm going well. I'm making money. I'm doing what I want. I'm traveling the world virtually and doing stuff. I got one daughter. I'm married with a daughter, and I had no problems. So she gave me a Bible. My wife was in Australia having a bit of a holiday, and I thought, well, that's a famous book. I better read that. I never thought to read it before. So I picked it up, and I couldn't put it down. For some reason, I didn't even sleep for 3 days. I dozed off and on. I just wanted to read this book. And I've nearly read the whole Bible in about 3 days. Just reading it. Nothing is really hitting me until I got to some passages that said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And I went, what? This is like absolute. This is not wishy-washy. This is like, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And I went, if there is a creator, right, I don't know. So I went down to their church meeting, and surprisingly enough, on the way driving down there, my mates turned up, beeping the horn, saying, we got beer, we got girls, we're going to have a party, you want to come? And I'm going, oh, they might see the Bible on it. So I said, no, I'm busy. But it's a bit like the devil sent people to distract me.
Yep.
So anyway, they said that God was out the front. So I went, they're saying he's out there. We'll go and find out.
Let's go look for him.
And when I got out there, the guy preaching stuck his hand on top of my head. He said something, and I lit up. It was like liquid love came through me. There's something really amazing happened. I didn't know what had happened. I had no understanding. But there was a change. Something happened. And that started off the journey. I was a chain smoker, 2 packs a day, terribly gone. I'd given up for a year and took it back up worse. People can relate to that. And I had a voice in my head, you can be the only smoking Christian. And I went, what? So I said to the lady, and she was doing exorcisms. She happened to be, that's what she did. And she said, I'll pray for you and you'll never smoke again. And I went back, you can have the Bible back, you know, this is like, you don't know how bad I am. She said, no. And she called in the youth pastor and they sat me in a chair in a little room, they started to pray. And I wanted to swear my head off. All of a sudden I lost it, like my mouth's going out, up and down, and I didn't swear, but I wanted to. And they're pointing at my belly saying, come out, like this. And this sort of lump come up my chest, and the room changed to glass, and went glassy. And I coughed, and out of my mouth came this round ball with spikes. Whoosh, and it's gone. Instantly I knew I never was addicted to cigarettes. I still had the cigarettes in my pocket. I dropped them in the bin on the way out, and never smoked.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 packs a day.
2 packs a day to nothing.
Yeah. So that
You're saying that your body was sad.
it lived under here. There was like a hollowness under my belly,
Yeah.
and my body. First time I noticed, my body has got like a mind of its own, and it was crying, but I wasn't crying. In my heart, I was fine. But my actual body, I perceived it was like very upset it had lost a friend.
That's a great way of putting it. Well, that's
It lost a friend.
yeah.
So what that did was it gave me an understanding and a belief because of reality that happened to me on this area of exorcism. And, that's like over nearly 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So you've had a bit of experience in doing this stuff, haven't you?
yeah.
Yeah, you were featured in Women's Weekly magazine, Peter.
Yeah. Yeah. The Women's Weekly rang me up and they said, we want to do a study on exorcism. Do you want to be in the article? And I said, yeah, of course. I'd love to do that. And my friends all ran for cover. No one wanted to do it. And I had nowhere to do it really. I found this girl and we did it at her
Sophia.
place. Sophia.
Yeah.
And when the Women's Weekly reporter turned up, I did have a visitor from overseas, a girl that I was trying to help, and she would, the demons would speak out of her at a drop of a hat. So I took her with me. I talked her into going to the article.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I said, we can talk about this all day, but do you want to see it? She said, yeah. So I go, come out. And she goes, we're not coming out. And her eyes come in the back of the head and tongue came out and the reporter just fell off the chair.
I was going to say, how did she react? I mean,
Oh man, she was going to go at about 7 o'clock at night and she stayed till 11
oh,
asking questions and
well, it is. It's quite intriguing. I mean, one of the reasons that we're here is because our podcast is called Gold Coast Locals.
Yeah.
You're a local.
the local.
Yeah,
So-
you're in the hood, Pete.
in the hood.
That's right. You've been around for on the Goldie for a long time.
yeah,
absolutely. And it's
Yeah.
interesting. I don't think a lot of people actually understand the diversity of the.
The Gold Coast.
No, I don't think they do at all. So
Yeah, there's two of us here. We met through international people, and we only live 15 minutes away.
you're kidding.
And we're teaching exorcism, and some of the we're known worldwide up there in the front of the field. Yeah. I started studying, not that it comes out by knowledge, but I started studying the Bible so that I could learn to help people,
Right.
not to be a know-all,
Yeah.
I really wanted to find out how I could help people, and I used the things I learned practically to see if they worked, and I did find a lot of stuff that's lost in the church that works in the Bible.
Yeah.
So that's how I did that Bible project. The meaning of the names
Yep.
gave me a lot of clues.
How many years did it take you, Peter, to do that?
5 years,
5 years to write
30,000 entries,
and re-edit it.
and no one in the history of the Bible ever did that. Like being a Bible author was just amazing.
Yeah.
No one knows.
No.
No
that's
one
good.
knows.
So how then? You've gone to Fiji.
Yes.
You've had the experience where I don't need to smoke it anymore, and
No.
that's unloaded off you.
Yes.
So how did you then transition into someone who knew that? Well, I suppose number one, as we were talking before, I mean, I do believe in the spirit world. I had a experience when I was a kid, and with the Ouija board, and the tile went across the Ouija board. We bloody shit ourselves.
That's the fastest way to contact
That's
demons.
Bigger,
You're,
faster
you're
email.
probably lucky that they didn't come in yet.
Oh,
If they could have,
well, that's
because
the
you're
whole thing.
inviting them.
Yeah. Well, I understand all that, but we took off. I took off. We won't
You
get
took
you.
off.
We won't get you.
If they rugby, so he was
You
fast.
took off.
But no, so I do believe that there is a spirit world and that sort of stuff out there. Do you know what I mean? And I know we were talking a little bit prior to the podcast about how people sort of how do they become caught up with this? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the fundamentals of it is that we're like a computer. Like our mind, our body is a physical machine.
Yeah.
Physical, made of physical. God breathed into Adam the software, the spirit.
Yep.
Spirit is life, it's life, and it's software. he wasn't moving until he got that software in him, and then he booted up.
Yep.
So then he ate from the tree, and he basically said, I want to know a demon. I want to know evil.
Yep.
So he's got a virus now.
Yep.
So you can be going along quite nicely, and next thing, I don't know what come over me. So that's that virus coming up. And then it might go down, and you can be fine. Some people have more of it than others. The tendency of these evil spirits is to get more in. They want friends in there. So you can have thousands in you, and some are completely gone. They're just in mental health, they're just taken over with
Yeah.
them. The first lot of spirits are the fallen angels. 1/3 of the angels in biblical account, which I go by, but they rebelled against God in heaven and came to the earth, and they have an ability to come in us because they're bodiless souls, bodiless spirits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're roaming around in the earth, and when Cain killed Abel, Cain's name, by the way, means possession, and Abel's name means breath, life. So God said to Cain, it's at the door, it wants you, it's got a desire. So that's another being has a desire for us.
Right.
So mankind's plight is that these evil beings are pursuing him, and they work by deception. So a lot of cases they'll work in the third person, and you think it's your thoughts, like that guy's looking at your missus, go and bash him, and it's not. It's not. These things are having fun. Ha ha ha!
Yep.
They got him in a fight.
Yep.
So I was at a bar once we were sailing up, and we were at Yamba at the Bowls Club. The skipper wanted to watch the football. I'm standing in the bar, and this half Aboriginal guy is looking at me like, and I go, "Who are you?" And it goes, he's mine, right in front of the bar. And the bouncers looked and I said, how'd you get in there? Dark rituals, like that.
Ah.
So all the occult practice of the spiritualism that they do. Anyway, I said to him, Bruce, you come up, you demon, you get down, because we have a power over them given to us by God. He hasn't left us helpless. We have power, but we have to use it. So he came too. What happened? Get it out of me! Get it out of me! So I cast it out right in the bar there, right in front of everybody. And the guy that's the skipper I was paying to help me bring the boat back said, "What's that?" I said, "I forgot to tell you, I was an exorcist."
You're going on your own from now on.
Yeah. I'm going home.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, having the experience that you have. Do you ever find yourself in a situation where you go, oh, this is not good, or is there ever a situation like that for you?
There was only once where my room filled full of smoke and I was held down and being choked, and it left, and Mum said, I was at her place, have you started smoking again? And I said, no, why? Oh, I saw smoke coming under the door. So
Bloody hell.
so there's another factor in it, is the witchcraft factor.
Yeah.
And the evil spirits get human beings to get in business with them, because humans are being given the earth, like we've got dominion over the earth.
Yep.
And so the devils don't, and they use humans to lurch onto their dominion. So that's where witchcraft comes into it.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Yeah, I know I've had some experience in Vanuatu.
Right, in dangerous place for that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got a couple of islands over there, and it's all black magic. Like it's that's what they call it, and they're scared of it. They're not.
Yeah.
It's really a living thing for them. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You were saying before, like a lot of those islands and that sort of stuff. They have a lot of that.
You've got some big dudes there. Yeah.
Is it because of like the witchery side of things, like you're saying, or is it just?
Well, what happened was that there was 200 angels of God. You can read this in the book of Enoch as well. Sent to help mankind because man was naive. So he got sent. God sent teachers, and they were like men to teach them. And they decided not to do that. They decided to make babies with the women, and they made what's called the Nephilim. You can Google that. There's giants. According to the Book of Enoch, some 2,000 feet high.
Okay.
Huge.
Yep.
And so anyway, a lot of those were giants, and they ended up filtering through to be Goliath and his brothers that were still alive.
Yep.
And they have found many skeletons. The Smithsonian Institute has been rounding them up and destroying them, but there have been many skeletons found.
Mm-hmm.
And they had 2 rows of teeth and 6 fingers and 6 toes. They were mutants. And what they did was they also mixed the animals. So they made a mermaid, they made the ancient creatures of Egypt, like a dog-headed man, bird-headed man.
Yep.
India, Ganesh, the elephant-headed man. Because the devil wanted to be God, and he couldn't be God of what was originally created. He wouldn't feel like that's right.
Yep.
So he has to make his own mix, you know. So
Yep.
he mixes everything. And the scripture says that all flesh was corrupted. So this caused the flood. The flood wasn't just because man was naughty, it was because all the flesh was gone. The seeds were all corrupted. So when they died, it's in Job chapter 30, in the whole chapter of the Bible, is what happened to them. They thought man had stolen from them, they cried after man, and they went to live in the groves, tree groves and caves. And they had juniper wood for their meat, it says. And juniper wood is broomstick wood.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So the witches would go and get the juniper wood,
Yep.
bring it home because the demons loved it, and they'd follow them, and then they could conjure them up and send them out to do missions, so they could do their witchcraft.
Yep.
So there was no place for their soul when they died, these creatures, because they were never planned. Had there been a place, it would have been in a mission that they're planned for.
Yep.
So for the moment, while history unveils, there's no place for them to go. So they roam the earth, and they're frustrated because they can't interface. Like, they want to have sex, they want to eat, they want to do, touch, feel, and all that.
Yep.
They want to fight, they want to kill.
Yep.
So they possess a body.
So I've got to find somewhere to live.
Yeah, animal or human.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, any flesh will do, preferably a nice human. And what they do is they set up in a family to be able to, because we don't live forever, when we die they have to leave, you know, the body.
Yep.
So they go to the grandkids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so families are set up by the devil so that these evil spirits can
Pass
can
down.
jump. Yeah, they can pass down. So we get the sins of the fathers on the 3rd and 4th generation. So you can be, some people out there, you know, they can wonder why they can never have any money.
Yep.
They're smart, they're educated, just got no money.
Yep.
Everything they do doesn't work. And that'll be a demon causing that, most likely.
Oh, right.
So what that demon does, it talks to the other demons in the other people. Like that person will go for a job interview, and the demons know each other, and they'll go, don't give him a job. So the person interviewing gets a feeling, oh, I don't feel right about that guy.
Yep.
And he doesn't get the job.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how John the Baptist was killed. King Herod liked John the Baptist. The girl did the dance. King Herod bound himself with an oath, and then the girl asked the mum, and the mum said, I want his head. It wasn't even her idea. It was a play between all these characters created his death.
Yeah.
Now she had been promised half a kingdom, up to half. She never asked for anything else. She got ripped off. She got nothing. And that's how the demons will work. They'll leave you holding nothing when you do have something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. So that's pretty related, Peter, to Jezebel and Ahab.
Yeah. What I found out was the Old Testament of the Bible, because we can't see these things, has like Shakespeare's plays going on with all these kings and characters in the Bible
Oh, yeah, yep.
that act out certain roles, and their names mean certain things. And they act out certain roles so we can identify what we can't see by what's happening.
Uh-huh.
So, for instance, there's a Queen Vashti, little known, not heard of, wouldn't come to the king's table, and it says, if she continued, all the women in Israel would despise their husbands. So this is a type of an evil spirit that causes a lady, she can't help it, despise her husband. So when I cast it out, that goes.
Oh, really?
That's like the lady you cast out, the little old lady.
Yeah, beautiful little lady from Laos, Asian lady with a lovely, caring husband, 10 years mental health, man. And she's sitting in the chair. I actually baptised her as the start of the process. But she's sitting in a chair and I go, Jezebel, are you there? I've had a feeling that, normally I don't do that, but anyway, she goes, fuck off.
A little old lady.
Little lady.
Really?
Yeah, middle-aged lady. You got to come out. No, she's mine. So it's very interesting. I'll make them look with Christians. Okay, there's this is all little known as well, but there's a seal put in a Christian for the day of redemption. The Creator marks a Christian for the day of redemption with a seal. So I'll say to the demon, look at the seal in them. What does that say? Jesus, or redeemed, something like that they'll say every single time.
Yep.
Who owns this body? Jesus, because a Christian is actually being purchased, so it's a buying of humanity back. The Creator is actually buying back what it was lost. So the demon will say, Jesus. So I'll go, well, what are you doing in there? It's not your body, is it? And they have to admit, and I make them bow, and a lot of times they'll come out.
So when you say they have to admit, so they don't have the ability to like answer in a different way, or
They'll talk.
not
They'll talk in all sorts of ways.
right?
Yeah, you're not getting her. She's weak, like this or something. They'll say.
Yeah,
She belongs to me. A lot of them, in war, women are taken as prizes of war. The soldiers rape them and take them, right? Well, it's the same in the spirit. The demons get given women as prizes of war. It's in Judges 4 and 5. Yeah.
ah,
So they think they own these ladies.
As some guys do. Like in just normal living.
And a lot of ladies will say they feel something having sex with them. And this is called incubus and succubus, as two spirits, and men too. They get this attack and they can feel the demon raping them. So it's
Really?
terribly tormenting, yeah.
so this lady that you called out, Jezebel,
Yes.
and that. So have you seen her? Do you see her since, or do you?
She texted me, that was the one, she texted me, she said, thank you, we're so glad we found you, the problems are gone, and we love you, and you'll always be in our family.
Wow.
So, this is a real honour and a privilege and a blessing to be able to do this for people.
Yep.
And have real answers for them.
Hmm.
You can go to mental health, you can get drugs, but all that's going to do is put the machine to sleep.
Yep.
Doesn't fix the software.
No. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I totally understand that, and that's the same with having an injury. A lot of people, they just go, "I'll take these drugs, take these drugs, take these drugs," but they're not actually. What's the word I'm looking for? They're not actually confronting the issue. If you know.
The physical issue,
Yeah.
The main issue.
Yeah, the main issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then you got into the op shop. You enjoy the op shop.
Yeah. I was exporting clothes to Fiji, and I met the guy that owned the op shop because I used to go around there and buy clothes off him and send them to Fiji.
Yep.
And that was surprising because 25 years ago I sent a full container of clothes to Fiji to a family that got burnt out in a coup. And that was like retail worth about 60 grand and cost me a little over 10 or something. But anyway, I sent it to them. And I was having troubles with my building company partners at the time. I didn't know my future, but I just did it anyway. And all these years later, that progressed into me supplying them. They looked after their family for 25 years out of that gift.
Wow, excellent.
Started businesses. Yeah. And it's amazing the sowing and reaping, or the karma, the goodwill that came back from that, because they asked me to do this supply, and I got the supply from the op shop, some of it. And I'm over there, and then there was a customer I sent a container load to, and they didn't pay. And I was at a point, I didn't have much money left for various reasons, that I prayed. And the scripture says, my sheep know my voice. So when you become a Christian, you get this radio set that comes in your heart, sort of thing, at times.
Yep.
And I got shown how to use that, with different miracles happened, and God said, don't worry, I'm going before you. Don't worry, like I'm going to have no money, I'm overseas, I'm going to go home, I won't be able to pay the rent, I'll never rent a house again.
Yep.
And I got 2 phone calls that afternoon. The guy that owned the op shop said, do I want it? He gave it to me.
Really?
Yeah. Stock, van, 2 weeks rent, shop rent, enough for me to get some cash going.
Yep.
Everything. And walk in, walk out on a handshake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say things happen for a reason.
Yeah. So you know, if you're having your darkest time,
Yep.
like there's a saying, 3 foot from gold, or your darkest time, don't worry, it's only today.
Yes.
Yeah. No one's killing you today, hopefully.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, as I talked about in the very beginning, like, you know.
There's always something new can come along.
Absolutely.
And sometimes what you're going through prepares you for what's coming up.
Yep.
Even though it's ouch.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
No, it's not fun. Yeah, lots of people have plenty of ouches too, you know, like
Yeah.
it's not an uncommon thing, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of, as I said, even, I remember back in the day when I was younger, you know, if you had issues when you were 17, 18, you know, your dad would give you a kick in the bum and say, mate, just get out
Stiff
there.
upper lip, man.
That's it, get out there and do it, you know.
Yeah.
Now we don't have that, you know, we've got a massive big issue with mental health.
We'll go to counselling.
Go to counselling.
It works in some places.
Obviously.
But you can't counsel demons.
No.
The demons won't listen.
Yep.
So what they do is they go quiet and they wait for an opportune time, and that person ends up killing themselves or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that guy who burned his family.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I would say, you know, without knowing it all, but I would say that looks to me like the spirit took him over.
That was really sad. Yeah, that's
And this is where we all suffer when this happens.
Yeah.
So anyway, the next phone call was my friend who was helping me pro bono on getting my superannuation back, and it got stolen. And
From Jezebel.
I don't want to say, but anyway, it went missing, and there was a settlement. So I got given the shop and had a settlement with money that afternoon.
there you go.
How about that, eh?
That's fantastic.
That's beautiful, Peter.
Yes. So there can be a storm, then the storm goes.
Yeah.
From having millions
Yeah.
to basically having nothing,
Yeah.
what you've got a story.
Yeah.
Right?
So I take the view, you can't take it with you, right? It is life, just be nice. Go in the world, enjoy the world, but just be nice.
Yeah. I agree. I think that, you know, everywhere in the world we could all be nicer people.
Just be nice, it's not hard.
No, it's not.
You
No.
think of it, if we were just nice, we wouldn't need a military.
Yeah.
Look at all what that money could do.
Well,
Feed
It's
the
keeping
world.
us poor, man.
Yeah.
no, exactly. I mean, we've got 75 F-30, F-18, whatever those.
With
fighter-
100 millions each or something.
I know. We've got 75 of them, and who don't we like that much?
Yeah, I know. Or who doesn't like us?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
What's the problem?
Yeah, I
What's
agree.
the problem? Like, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I reckon there's a lot of things that can be changed in the world. Yeah, absolutely. And
So I worked it out,
Okay.
let's just do it in your own life.
Yep.
I don't whinge about it, we just do, as
I'm
far
with
as it concerns me, just be nice.
yeah, I'm with you. For me, it's about exactly the same: being nice and being happy. Like as you said before, you know, like it's a long journey. It has its ups and downs and all that sort of stuff. But being happy is important as well. So.
So, question for you, Peter.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Yeah, I just take it one day at a time, I take your advice, one day at a time. And I learned from my cat, you know, I don't expect much out of the cat, don't scratch the lounge.
Yeah.
You know, and the cat just hangs out. And there's nothing wrong with that, and like not putting too much on yourself
Yeah,
or someone else's expectations on
exactly,
you.
exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah,
You can be trying to live out someone else's hopes. You'll never be happy like that. You can't be. And this is where we got to trick ourselves.
Mm.
We don't have to do anything, but it's a good idea. Trick yourself and do things that are what you want to do.
yeah. I do some stuff with a very close friend of mine who teaches people belief,
Right.
and he talks about the subconscious mind.
Yes.
And he talks about things like, you know, when you walk out onto a balcony and you look down, you get this feeling through your body, you know, like, but you're not going to jump and you're not going to fall.
No.
So there's something in your life has created that experience, has given you that question or
A training event.
a training event, yes. And he will then create a program for people to
Redo that.
redo and remap their subconscious mind
Yeah.
and put them into a positive. Like he's really pushed on words, you know, like certain words, you know, you don't say, like he says, hope. For him, there's no such thing as hope. You know, you've got to want to try and do this, or you're going to do this, or and those sorts of things. And I think it is. I think it's important that we all understand that, you know, you can change things if you really want to. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
if the mind is like worked by the spirit that is the software, you can get a reboot.
Yep.
And that happens with prayer. The Creator says it's His great pleasure to give us His kingdom, so it's on earth as it is in heaven.
Yep.
So it's His pleasure to make things nicer for us. But we're kings, and a king can have anything he wants. So you can have the bad, you can have the good. Depends what you want to say.
Yep.
Like, what bad's going to happen to me? Well, it might. Or I want to be reprogrammed. I want to now go a different direction. And the Creator says He'll help you. If you cast your steps to Him, or if you give Him your plans, He'll make your steps.
Yeah. If you've
He'll
got
help
to
you.
you've got to be proactive in the whole process, don't you?
Yeah, you've got to be
You've got to
moving.
want it to happen.
You can't steer a ship that's not moving.
No.
It's got to have some movement
Yep.
for the rudder to work.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yes. Totally. Totally.
Yeah, so those looking backwards, you know, you can't steer it straight looking back either.
Yep.
And those that are disabled, all right. The question is, what am I learning from this? Right, that's a good question. Can I now discipline myself not to look backwards? And can I think about what I can do?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's just that's really
like
nice. I really agree with that one.
So we can, you know, I do, I'd say counselling, encouragement to people who come in the op shop.
Yeah.
And I've been learning by doing.
Yeah.
You know, every day you get to talk to people.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing, you know, you do. And if you think you're going to fail, then why bother?
Absolutely.
You won't do anything.
Absolutely. It's not
Yeah.
But you can't actually fail if you think about it. Even if it doesn't work out, whatever you're doing, you learn something.
Yep.
Edison learned what light bulbs didn't work.
Exactly. Well, failure is part of the process for me. Like, you know, you try
Okay.
and do stuff, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Then I try something else. You know, like
Yeah.
depending on how you are.
Yeah.
As I said, like from my perspective with a disability,
Yeah.
I'm proactive. I want to keep trying to
Yeah.
do things
Move
and
forward.
keep moving forward. Yeah. I say
Yeah.
to people, I go a lot slower now,
Yeah.
but now I get to see.
You're still
everything. I'm still going. Absolutely.
You're still
But I get-
moving, but
but
just
I
a bit
get-
slower.
Yeah, but I get to see everything too. I think that's
Yeah.
one of the things that I've sort of taken on board. With
You
my
haven't rushed
experience.
past like you used to.
Exactly. You know that's saying.
That's a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, that's saying about slow down and smell the roses.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm luckily enough and
You can do
happily
that.
enough to know what the roses smell like. So
Yeah.
you know, it's important I think for people to have that experience as they're going through the journey, because each one of us have different ones, and as I said,
Yeah.
you know, we all have ups and downs.
Yeah.
So
And, you know, the worst part of anyone, like the scripture says, hope deferred makes the heart sick. And that's disappointment. Disappointment comes because what you're hoping for isn't happening.
Yep.
You know, his hopes are dashed.
Yep.
Worst case, hopeless.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a bad place to be.
yes, absolutely.
And the good news is we're kings, so we can reset
Yep.
what we want. Little goals.
Yep.
Like I go, don't put a Ferrari on the wall, put put a little step.
Yep.
You know, and then congratulate yourself. Well done.
Absolutely. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the successes.
Yeah, and
Enjoy the
celebrate them.
Yep.
Don't just take them as little and for granted. Like when I go pay the rent for the shop, I'm walking out the back, people think I'm crazy. And I'm going, well done, Peter. You've done a good job paying that rent today. You have the rent. You've gone well.
Yes.
You know, and I just give myself a pat on the back.
No,
But I've learned this works.
absolutely. Bloody hell, I'm hearing you there too.
Yeah.
It does work. It does work.
Yeah.
You know, like,
If you can't encourage yourself, who's going to?
no.
That's right.
You know, you love yourself first. People say you love yourself. Cool. Yeah, I love myself. I'm special to me.
Yeah.
No, that's right. If you, seriously, if you can't, one of the things that I've learned about my process is that I like me.
Yeah.
I can actually hang
You're
out
comfortable
with
with
me.
yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't need other people
No.
to make me feel
Make your day.
comfortable. No, I don't need that. I've learnt that I'm quite capable of
Yourself.
just me being with me. And I think that's a really important thing because I don't think that a lot of people are
Realise
actually
this.
comfortable with that.
Yeah, they don't realise it. One of the things that's destroying is, I found from the names Bible, if someone is supposed to be faithful in your life and they're not faithful, they do the wrong thing and reject you and all of that, you can actually self-destruct without realising. So there's a loss of self-worth.
Yes.
Scripture said she put ash on her head, which means worthlessness, and went around opposing herself. So lost the colour in her life. You can go dull because of this. Someone else caused something. That the way out is to meditate and think about your self-worth.
Yeah.
And that everybody is worth something. You know, with me from a Christian standpoint, you know, God loved us so much, He sent His Son, so we're worth something. We've got value, eternal value. So when we counsel people, a lot of them are self-destructing, and no matter how you help them, they're going to continue self-destructing until you can get the self-worth fixed.
Sorted out.
Yeah, till they can get that restored.
Mm.
Not easy.
A lot of them come in the shop there
They do,
distraught. Your dad never said good things, mum never
No.
liked me.
Especially kids, little kids, because their hearts are so soft.
It's so sad, eh?
That's terrible, man.
Yeah,
Terrible.
and they're scarred.
They are. So part of the thing we do is I'll always have that angle, you know, trying to tell them they're worth something.
Yeah.
Oh, I need a tent, take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we love you. You're
Yeah.
worth something, take it.
Yeah.
And you sort of like
And
live.
they get amazed. Wow, for me, for free?
Yeah, they can't
Peter
believe it.
goes, yeah, just have it.
Yeah.
And they go, wow, no one's ever given me anything for free.
Yeah, but it's got to start somewhere, doesn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
It has to
You're
start somewhere.
trying to pump a little bit.
Yep.
And then walk out of there thinking, oh, maybe I am worth something.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't think I was.
Yeah, no, that's very cool.
Yeah.
That guy saw something in me
Yeah.
to give me the tent.
Yeah, somebody cared.
Yeah.
I've had them crying all over the floor, man. Where they
Yeah.
just break like nuts. They just
Oh,
crack
yeah.
open.
It's quite sad though. You know,
It is terrible.
I know you had a fair bit to do, not fair bit, you had a lot to do with your little invention background that you
Yeah.
like to create some inventions, and you,
Yeah.
you did the
pod.
homeless pod, yeah.
And that was my idea to try and help them.
Yep.
And it went so far, and then it got stolen.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
can you?
Well, they need it.
For all those people out there listening, Peter created a pod for the homeless.
To go behind a bicycle.
So we go behind a
Like a
bicycle.
trailer,
Yeah,
little
yeah,
trailer.
trailer, yeah, so they can drag around.
Yeah.
And it got stolen.
Yeah,
It
It stolen.
It got stolen. Like,
And Peter goes, oh.
Oh.
what can you do?
So-
I mean, it's you know, it's
He put his heart and soul in it, and he killed him with fiberglass and all
Yeah, I
that.
breathed all the fumes in. Made all my legs ache. Oh man, because
No
I'm
good
circulating in my legs. Oh man.
Oh.
So here I am suffering, can't walk around because of that pod.
Hope they're enjoying it. Peter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are your legs going?
Oh, they're recovering a little bit. Yeah,
Okay.
they were excruciating there for a while.
Yep.
Yeah. So I just dug in one day and I just said to myself,
Yep.
I don't really care if my legs hurt. I'm just going to go forward.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's it's like I know a lot of people out there have pain and that sort of stuff, and
Yeah.
you know, I'm the same. I have pain every day, but you sort of get to the stage where you just go, look, it's just part of my life now. You just got to keep moving.
It's in the boat with us.
Yep, that's
so we're
right.
rowing anyway.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. There ain't no motor.
No motor, man.
Keep rowing.
So we
Yeah.
just keep going,
Yeah.
and what can you do? You know, you can jump out and drown, or you can keep going.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No, yeah, I'm not interested in drowning. I'd much rather. I've got plenty of things that I want to
want to
experience.
do and
exactly.
and live.
Yeah, and live and do that sort of stuff. So you know,
And life is only short. Like
it is.
one day, some kids were pointing. They said, "That old guy over there." I'm like, what? That's me.
What old
Oh
guy?
my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting old.
That's right. Yes, exactly. You know, you look
Ah.
around, you see people that you've known for a number of years, and you're not close friends with them, and you haven't seen them for a while.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you go down and you go, holy shit, is that Billy? That is Billy. Bloody hell.
Is that
He
Billy or
looks
Billy's
old.
father?
Grandfather.
And then you start realising about your destiny, like 500 weeks every 10 years. So, you know, you only get a few innings.
Yes.
Of 500 weeks, you
Yeah.
know, 10, gone.
Yep.
I watched my dad pass away, you know, and he was really colourful. He did a lot of things in his life.
Yeah.
You know, I had a great childhood. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
I was the youngest speedboat racing driver in Victoria. We used to make them
Yep.
at home, me and Dad together. And at the end of the day, he couldn't wipe his bum.
Yep.
You know, he's 80 and
Yeah.
everything's shutting down.
Yep.
And he's gone now. He's
Yes.
him every day, but he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Totally understand.
And one
Totally
day it's going to be us.
It's coming up.
Yep.
Whether we like it or not.
Well, it's getting closer every day.
Yeah.
So,
So you make today a nice day.
absolutely.
That's all you
Enjoy
can
it.
do.
Yeah. Enjoy
You
it.
can't
Enjoy
do much
it.
more.
You're sitting there.
No.
Peter, the story of Ahab and Jezebel.
Yeah.
Just want to explain to Lenny a
Yeah.
little bit more about. Can we talk about that a little bit? So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They were kings.
Right.
Ahab was the king of Israel, and they were told what the Creator was trying to do since the flood was he couldn't help the whole world, so he picks out one family that he's going to try and keep pure, so he could bring the Saviour, pure from demons.
Okay. Yep.
That's the whole reason for it all.
Yep.
Keep them safe from the demons, and otherwise the Saviour's going to be demonized when he's born.
Yep.
So King Ahab disobeyed, and he went and married a strange woman. The Bible talks about strange flesh,
Mhm.
and they had elongated heads. If you see the old Egyptian drawings, you've got the egg heads, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's the Nephilim. That's the Nephilim.
Right.
You can see there. So Jezebel was a strange woman, and she dominated him. Now, she's named in Revelation by Jesus as a spirit. He suffered that woman Jezebel to the churches. They're all good, they do charities and they do lots of things and all that, but they suffer this woman Jezebel, which means they're being run by the women.
Right.
So, you ever seen a couple where the wife is dominant and the little old husband just goes along? He's not game to say anything.
Yep.
Yeah, boo, you know, he's just push the trolley.
Yep.
Shut up, push the trolley.
Yep.
He knows
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Good
So they
stuff.
go together. She, that demon usurps the kingship of humanity, so that spirit will get the wife to use the authority of the husband, but she's wearing the pants.
Ah. Yep.
So when you see that, that's Jezebel.
So this is Jezebel.
Yeah, that's Jezebel.
Jezebel, are you
Yeah,
there?
yeah. And she's a nasty piece of work, man.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she wears makeup. Butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. You know, everyone around would think that she's wonderful.
Yep.
But underneath there, when she gets home, he knows what she's like.
Ah. Okay. Yeah. Ah,
Right.
right. So this is the Jezebel that you're always talking about. Like this is
Yeah.
the lady. Who
ladies, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
it's in a lot of women, unfortunately.
She hated her husband, didn't she? She hated her husband.
Yeah, well, yeah, but she manipulated him. And there was a guy called Nahum who had a vineyard. Now the vineyard talks about our life, really. It's our inheritance. It
Yep.
grows the grapes, and the fruit of the grapes is like referred to blood, so it's like our life. And Ahab wanted that vineyard, but Nahum said, I can't sell it to you, it's my inheritance. And so Jezebel heard about it and said, I'll go and get it. And she lied about Nahum and had him killed and got the vineyard for Ahab. And then they ripped out all the vines and put vegetables. So it's a bit like the works of man.
Yep.
They stole his inheritance and then changed it.
Yep.
So they're trying to do that with us. The demons want our inheritance.
Yep.
So you'll find that when we do deliverance, we'll cast Ahab out of the husband and Jezebel out of the Lord.
We might have to look into a few of our federal politicians and see
Oh,
see
yeah.
what demons they
Bring it
got.
on, bring Peter along.
Yeah, yeah, because it's not right for ladies to be. Scripture says it's not right for ladies to be bossing over men.
Right.
They're not made that way. They're made to have babies, to be mums,
Yep.
and they have a feeling mantle where they run by feelings.
Mm-hmm.
They run by what they see and what they feel, because that's how you look after a baby.
Yep.
They're watching the baby closely. I don't feel the baby's happy, or I feel the baby's hot, or
Yeah.
something, you know.
Yep.
But men, stronger. They can be give and take. Man can be like
More negotiable. Do you
more negotiable, like malleable.
Yep.
If you're looking at metals, you know, it
Yep.
can bend a little bit.
Yep.
Where the women are either hot or cold, they'll snap.
Yep.
Like you know, you have one that loves you, then something goes wrong and they hate you.
Mm.
So they're not
Oh. Yeah, exactly.
they're not leaders, and that's the problem. The world is, the devil loves to get the ladies running things because he's got access to them from the feeling side of things.
Right.
He's lord of feelings.
Yep.
And we can't have feelings. Like a lot of men won't automatically go by feelings. They'll look at the whole situation.
Yep.
Yeah, engage the whole deal.
Yep.
Where the women will just go by feelings.
Ah, that's very interesting.
It is interesting.
It is. It is. And it's like, especially with the way the world is now.
Yes.
This with women becoming, wanting the same
As men,
as men. Yeah, like it's.
and they're not the same. But the thing is that is to realise is that the whole of mankind, a whole man, like a complete man, is a man and a woman.
Yeah.
Joined.
Yeah.
That makes the complete creature.
Yeah.
And that in its proper order is so powerful because it's running correctly. The car's firing all cylinders.
Car's strong.
Strong.
It's feeling good.
Yeah.
Full
And
of
as a
petrol.
team,
Yeah.
right? You got a nice wife that's with you, helping you, and you love her, and
She loves you.
She loves you because you love her. You got to love her first, and that's the other problem. But the thing is that you get into a little business and you work together, you can really go well.
Yeah.
Good teamwork in the house, and none of the fighting going on.
Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. I totally agree. That's that. I do believe the strongest thing is two people together. Like and because you bounce off each other,
Yes.
you both handle different things in different ways.
One picks up one thing, one
Yep.
picks up another.
Yeah,
that
exactly,
type of stuff.
exactly. Yeah. So there's all those sorts of things, and I think balance is good.
So that's marriage is actually, God showed me, is a type and shadow of the gospel.
Yep.
It wasn't good for God to be on his own. He wanted to create us to love.
Yep.
And you can love your dog, but it's not the same as your wife.
No.
So that's why he made Adam first, and Adam looked at all the creatures. So Adam knew you couldn't marry them.
Yep.
And he makes his wife and then says, that's flesh of your flesh, bone of your bone.
Yep.
And God is doing that. He's made the humanity, the church, out of himself. So for someone to love and to be with and to work together with. So that's where our strength can be, like as a Christian, working together with God, even though you can't see him, but he will put the thoughts in your mind to work together with you. Very powerful, man.
Extremely.
So you'll see in history, if you look in history, you'll see some Christians that have really done a lot of things, that way.
Yeah.
A lot of them haven't been too good, but a lot have done a lot
A lot of
things.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You actually have a meetings in Southport
Yeah, on Saturday nights.
on Saturday nights, yeah?
Yeah, it's no cost. We run them, and they're to help people who are tormented.
Right.
We teach exorcism. We help people And every week someone's,
That's almost at the library there, Peter, isn't it?
yeah, just down from Centrelink, you know, the Country Women's Association Hall in Young Street,
Yeah.
20 Young Street.
So that, and what time does that kick off on a Saturday?
7 o'clock, and then no one goes home till after midnight. But you can
Really?
go anytime you want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the usually everyone wants to hang around and
yeah.
understand it.
Yeah, we had a lady from Africa there last Saturday flying around the floor.
Really?
Yeah, spirit speaking out of her. Dedicated with a witch doctor in Africa as a baby. So
Oh.
it caused a lot of problems
So that's where the entrance comes back in those days. So she's had that with her for a long time. Then.
all her life.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
everything works on authority. Yeah, like if you're a king and you say, I declare this, it comes up like a little flag, a
Yeah.
decree, declare over your life. And it stays there.
Uh-huh.
So this is why life and death is in the tongue. We're going to be very careful what we say.
Yep.
But the King of Kings, the Creator, can undo that. You can say, oh, that one I put up, can you take that down? And he'll take it down for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Numbers chapter 30. The husband can disallow the vow of the wife and daughter on the day he hears it. So if she goes to the marketplace and buys some prawns, come home, we don't want prawns, take them back, they have to take them back. The deal's not, doesn't count. How about that?
Gee.
That's it.
I like it.
Dansky, yeah.
Yeah, so it works the same way.
It's
We're
very
the body of Jesus, he's the head and he's not eaten from the tree.
Yeah.
So we're safe with,
Yeah.
with his colour.
Ah,
That's how we keep safe. Hmm.
Hallelujah, Peter.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have those meetings, we've been running them for a couple of years. And some days I just go, oh man, I'm going to go to this meeting. You know,
You got coffee,
coffee, tea,
biscuits.
yeah, cakes and all that there.
Yep. Yep. And do you like, have you ever had someone just come along just to sit down and watch? And
Yeah,
Yeah.
anyone can come and watch. There's no obligation, we don't pressure people to become Christians or anything like that. I mean,
right.
we put it out there as a public service. It helps other people in the Christian community to come and learn this stuff because it's not commonly taught out there, and that's a problem. That's where the ministry's like failed a lot. It hasn't been teaching enough. There's need to be more workers doing it.
Yeah.
I can't do it all.
No.
I haven't got time.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many people in need. That,
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's you know, you only have to walk around. You know, not only Southport, but I'm saying Southport, but and you can see people who are traumatised.
you can, man.
You know, you can see people who are not
Not right.
right.
There's
Yeah.
something wrong.
No, that's right. You know, and I'm not quite sure why they all get in and around that area, but it's not an uncommon sight in that area. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, the
That's
demons
quite
like to hang
interesting.
out together.
I have no doubt about that.
So it's birds of a feather type thing.
Yes, exactly. So,
But you'll see their eyes roll. I see that often, and eyeballs disappear.
Yeah.
People's eyes roll on the back of their head. Tongues come out. And they get vomited in buckets.
yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah,
They're like parasites, they live in the mucus.
yeah. They make mucus in your lungs and live there, like a dream catcher.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're air, so they've got to hang on to something. So we'll say, let the nest come out, and then they'll vomit up bile.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I had another guy, he's a chain smoker, he decided to give it up, and he started praying for him, and he went wild all over the floor and all of that, and next thing you know, 2 inches of bile went in a bucket. And the stink of cigarettes went right through the whole hall. The ladies were running out dry reaching, and he's never smoked since.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
So you might have a new business like
Get rid of
people
people
to stop smoking.
Yeah, we got, there's a way it all happens, and sometimes we can't get that way to happen with people, but basically there's the answer for everything.
Yeah.
Every single thing. It's a big answer. So I'm still learning and discovering, and have discovered a lot. I wrote a book, Deliverance is at the Table, where it's not a shield, a sword, a gun, it's a table.
Yep.
Because judgment's there.
Uh-huh.
The guilt of the cross is that the power. You know, what you sow you reap. So the demons have to reap the cross.
Yep.
So I got the power as a Christian to put that reaping on them.
Beautiful,
They don't like
beautiful.
They don't like it.
No, that's cool.
They run out the door, they run away.
Oh, I can imagine. But I've seen some of the videos. I've watched some. You've got a YouTube channel.
Yeah, my
So,
name.
Yep,
Peter
and,
Whiffin.
Peter Whiffin, yep. I've watched a couple of videos on there, and anyone out there who goes, oh, yeah, just watch the videos and just have a little bit of a look. It's,
Yeah, just open your mind.
it's
a bit.
open your mind. Yeah, it's very.
It's over
interesting.
yours, isn't it, Drew?
Yeah, absolutely.
He comes walking past my office door, or the back workshop.
Get out! What are you talking about? Get out!
Yeah.
All right,
Because
now
it's like how you get the dog out of the house. You say, come out.
come out. Yeah,
And
that's
the dog runs out.
here he comes. Here he comes.
But you know, it's just part of what my life is about.
Yep.
And it's just something that I do. And the other part about it's just being nice and
Yeah.
run the old shop.
Yeah. I really want to thank you for coming in today.
Mm.
As I said,
Pleasure, man.
it's been it's an absolute pleasure. And as I said, like I've met you before.
Mm.
I know you're a good soul,
Mm.
and I just really want people to know like what actually is going on in our hood. You know what I mean? What people are doing, and there's different people out here and all that sort of stuff. And you know,
Amazing Gold Coast, eh?
Yeah.
Amazing Gold Coast.
Absolutely,
Who's here?
it's a lot more personalities here than what
We
what a
know.
lot of people realise and understand, you know. And I think the other thing that people need to understand too is that everyone, no matter how old you are, how young you are, all that sort of stuff, everyone has a story. It's a different story. We all go about things, you know, in different ways, and we take up and enjoy different things.
Yes.
But whether you're young, old, or anything, I just want to reiterate what you said before, and that is, be nice.
Be nice, man.
You know, if we can be nice, if we were all made the commitment today to just be, I'm going to do something nice
For someone. Be nice.
Exactly.
Smile.
What a better world this place would be.
Absolutely, a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Let someone on the
absolutely.
bus first. That can change their life.
Oh,
Someone respected me, you know.
well, remember
Turn
last week,
people around.
Renee and I were at Australia Fair, and we looked down, and I looked down and I said, Renee, there's somebody's glasses there. And I said, I think that might be that old lady.
Right.
There's no if I had to chase her, she was gone.
Yeah.
But Renee was there, and Renee went run down and said to her, excuse me, you know, and she stopped and that, and he said, oh, have you lost your glasses? And she went, oh, and now she would have been beside herself if she had gone home.
Yeah.
And she had no glasses, she was,
Someone would have thrown him in the bin.
yeah, that's right, you know.
And that's just a little bit of effort.
It's,
How hard's that?
it wasn't.
It's not hard, is it?
No,
Not at all.
it wasn't, and how
A bit of
enjoyable was
teamwork.
it?
A bit of teamwork.
Yeah,
you know.
no, it was good, it was good, so,
Well, we get people finding wallets, you know, from the op shop and different things, and they hand them in with
That's
the
cool,
money in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I think Peter found one the other day. It had $600 in it,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
Chinese guy came and got it.
yep, just gotta
Frantic, you know.
gotta be nice, so,
It's not hard.
no, it's not. All right, well, that's going to
Right.
wrap up this podcast. We're right on time, so I just want to say to everyone out there, thank you very much for listening to us. We've had a great great response to our previous podcast. It's sort of blown me away a little bit, and the feedback, thank you so much. And the feedback for those people who think we should be doing other things, thank you so much for that too. So it's all good. We're enjoying it. From Ridley and I, he's here somewhere.
He went
He's
out.
out somewhere.
He went outside.
He went outside.
He's making a coffee.
Yeah, he'd be out there.
Making
making All right, guys. Thanks very much, Renee, Peter.
Thanks,
Thank you
Peter.
so much, guys.
Welcome,
Peter.
man.
Thanks, people
Yeah,
out there.
thank
Just
you,
remember,
everyone.
you can get us
Yeah.
on YouTube, Lennon Ridley, or the Gold Coast Locals, and Instagram, Lennon Ridley, or if you want to send an email to me, it's len@duxstudio.com.au. And as I said, like, I'm happy to talk to anyone about anything. So have a great day, guys. Cheers.
Thank you.
Well done, boys.
All right.
That's all right.
That was excellent.
Very cool, Peter.
Eh?
Yeah, so it's very